Honorable members, it is a privilege and an honor for me to stand before this distinguished House.
Israel faces a comparable, arguably harder, narrative war. 57 Muslim-majority OIC countries, global pro-Palestinian movement, Western liberal media largely hostile to Israeli policy. And yet, Israel maintains Western government support, defense partnerships, technology partnerships, intelligence sharing. How does a country of 9 million people maintain global support against a coalition of 57 countries? It is not because Israel is right on every issue. It is because Israel has built the most effective democratic narrative infrastructure in the world. Tactic 1. The spokesperson army. Israel trains thousands of citizen Hasbara volunteers. Hasbara, public diplomacy in Hebrew. Each volunteer knows, gives the 10 key talking points for any crisis, gives how to respond to the 20 most common accusations, gives how to find credible data quickly, gives how to engage journalists, academics, and politicians in their country. This is not propaganda training. It is communication training for citizens who care about their country. When an anti-Israel narrative goes global, 10,000 trained volunteers in 40 countries engage simultaneously in their local language, to their local community. Not robots, real people with real credibility. India has 32 million people abroad. India has no Hasbara equivalent. Tactic 2. Emotion before evidence. This is Israel's most important communication lesson. When anti-Israel content goes viral, the Israeli response does not lead with statistics. It leads with a human story. Here is Shira. She was 22. She was at the music festival. She wanted to be a doctor. This is her mother, Rachel. Then comes the evidence. Then comes the policy context. Then comes the legal argument. Human story first. Evidence after. Because human stories share. Evidence does not. India has extraordinary human stories. The doctor in rural Rajasthan serving 50 patients a day. The Hindu and Muslim families who protected each other in every riot. The farmer whose life changed with a government scheme. The ISRO scientist who grew up in a village with no electricity. These stories exist. They are true. They are powerful. They are just never told at scale, coordinated, at the right moment. Tactic 3. Platform speed. IDF has dedicated social media units. Their mandate, post first. When an incident occurs, IDF posts its version on X, Instagram, Telegram simultaneously. In English, in Arabic, in French, before any adversary can frame the story. The IDF understands what India's MA does not. The first version of a story is the story that survives. Every subsequent version is a correction. And corrections never fully replace the original. Tactic 4. Diaspora Rapid Response 2. Jewish Federation organizations in 50 plus countries have rapid response networks. When anti-Israel narrative spikes in any country, local community leaders are briefed within hours. Op-eds are placed, letters to editors sent, political meetings scheduled, all coordinated, all rapid, all local voice, not Israeli government voice. A British Jewish professor writing in The Guardian is 100x more credible to a British audience than the Israeli ambassador giving a press statement. India has the equivalent human capital, the Indian origin professor at Harvard, the Indian American congressman, the Indian originator at major Western publications. What India lacks is the coordination infrastructure to deploy these voices at the right moment with the right message. The Mallet presents this honestly. India should not try to replicate Israel's politics. Israel's narrative success has come with significant controversy, including accusations of weaponizing Holocaust memory, accusations of suppressing legitimate criticism, and accusations of conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. India has different values, different history, different challenges. What India should copy? The infrastructure, not the politics. Gives citizen communication training day, gives emotional storytelling methodology, gives speed of response systems PONT, gives diaspora coordination networks. What India should not copy? Gives the conflation of criticism with attack, gives the suppression of legitimate dissent in the name of narrative management, gives the use of legal pressure on journalists and academics India's democratic values must shape how it communicates. Israel's communication infrastructure should inspire what it builds. The most important question that never gets asked: who is paying for all of this? And how much? Pakistan's information warfare budget. The ORF report specifically noted a professionalized system requiring substantial financial resources despite Pakistan's severe economic crisis. Analyst estimates for Pakistan's information warfare gives ISPR direct information operations 50 USD OLLARS 80 million annually, gives diaspora media operations in Gulf, UK, Canada 20 USD OLLARS 30 million, gives Western lobbying and PR firms 15 USD OLLARS 20 million. Some confirmed via FARE, Foreign Agents Registration Act filings in USA, gives influencer payments, documented but amount unknown, gives total estimated 100 US dollars plus million annually. Pakistan's economy gives under IMF bailout program since 2023, gives cannot pay electricity bills, load shedding 12 plus hours daily, gives inflation exceeded 38% in 2023, gives debt servicing consuming 60% plus of government revenue, and yet Pakistan's military maintains a 10 crore US dollars plus information warfare program. As the INS report stated, it is fascinating that a country suffering from a severe economic crisis has the audacity to spend so much money on information warfare. The explanation is simple. This is not a government budget. This is a military budget. Pakistan's military operates outside normal budget constraints. Information warfare is a core military function, not a communications ministry expense. The foreign funding angle, India's OW, and challenge me. Multiple Indian NGOs and media organizations receive foreign funding via India's FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act route. Sources include gives George Soros linked Open Society Foundations, gives Ford Foundation, gives US State Department affiliated democracy promotion bodies made, gives UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office linked grants. India has cracked down on FCRA violations, including cancelling the licenses of multiple organizations. The narrative battle within this battle. India's position: foreign-funded NGOs are influencing elections and domestic politics. This is a sovereignty issue. International media position: India is criminalizing civil society and muzzling dissent. This is a democracy issue. Both arguments have merit. Both have data. Neither is fully wrong. The challenge: when India restricts foreign-funded NGOs, it generates the dying democracy narrative internationally. When India does not restrict them, it risks foreign interference in domestic politics. There is no clean answer here. What India needs is a transparent, judicially reviewable process rather than opaque executive decisions, which would deny Pakistan's narrative the authoritarianism ammunition while still protecting legitimate sovereignty concerns. What this means for the narrative war, the money flowing into anti-India narratives is gives structured, gives military grade, gives consistent, not episodic, gives professionally managed. India's response budget is gives reactive, gives bureaucratic, gives inconsistent, spikes during crises, disappears otherwise, gives spread across multiple ministries with no coordination. The funding asymmetry is as important as the narrative asymmetry. You cannot fight a 10 crore US dollars military information operation with fact-check posts and YouTube channel blocks. India must make a decision that its political establishment has avoided making for 20 years, treat information warfare as a national security priority, with dedicated funding, dedicated personnel, dedicated infrastructure, and a dedicated accountability. The conversation usually starts and ends with, we should have a global news channel someday. Someday is not a strategy. And in information warfare, the country without a strategy is always fighting the country with one. India has all the ingredients. What it lacks is the recipe. Here is the system, based on what actually works globally. Fix one, build India's global voice. India needs a world-class English language global news channel, not Doordarshan International rebranded. A genuinely independent, high-production, globally distributed channel, funded by government, run by independent professionals. With editorial independence like BBC, not state control like CGTN. Distribution target, 100 countries in 5 years. Priority markets, USA, UK, Gulf, Africa, Southeast Asia. Why Africa specifically? China's CGTN has already captured African news audiences in 40 plus countries. India's 70YEAR relationship with Africa is being undermined by a Chinese broadcaster. Fix 2. De-employ the diaspora, 32 million Indians abroad. The world's largest diaspora Currently 95% undeployed for narrative purposes. Build India's Hasbara equivalent. Gives voluntary communication training program, MEA coordinator to. Gives real-time WhatsApp alert networks in 40 key countries. Gives when anti-India narrative spikes in a country. Diaspora communicators in that country are notified and briefed. Gives pre-written response packages for predictable scenarios. The Indian professor at Oxford responding to a fake anti-India BBC article is 100x more effective than the MEA spokesperson. Deploy the professor, brief the professor, support the professor. Fix 324 HOUR Narrative Response Unit. Pakistan's bots respond in under 1 hour. India's MEA responds in 24 plus hours. India needs a dedicated narrative response unit under NSA by PMO. Gives 24/7 monitoring of anti-India content globally. Gives pre-prepared response packages for ALL predictable scenarios, Kashmir incident, communal allegation, military action narrative. Gives direct relationships with platform trust and safety teams. Gives partnership with DFRAC, News Meter, Alt News for real-time fact-checking. Gives English language spokespersons pre-positioned at Indian embassies in Washington, London, Brussels, Dubai, Nairobi. Goal: India's counter-narrative published before Pakistan's fake goes viral. That requires pre-positioning, not just reaction. Fix 4 USC Bollywood, cricket and culture. Bollywood reaches 600 million people globally. Cricket, 2.5 billion fans. Yoga, 300 million practitioners worldwide. None of these assets are systematically used when India's global image is under attack. The fix is not to make Bollywood do government propaganda. The fix is to build a voluntary rapid response network NEPIC of cultural icons who are briefed on what is happening and choose to share their personal authentic story. Fix 5. E-expose the machine publicly and loudly. India's most underused weapon is the data it already has. DFRAC has documented the bot networks in detail. ORF has confirmed ISPR Al Jazeera coordination. Newsmeter has catalogued 120 AI-generated fake pieces. This data sits in academic reports, read by 2,000 specialists, unknown to 2 billion people. India must make this data public. Loud.global. Gives present DFRAC's 117, a CCO-UNT bot network evidence to the UN formally. Brief Western journalists directly with the documented data. Make Pakistan's information warfare as globally known as China's influence operations. Bring ISPR Al Jazeera coordination evidence to EU Parliament. File formal complaints with Twitter by X and Meta citing documented evidence. When the machine is visible, it loses power. Exposed bots lose credibility. Exposed media partnerships lose the editorial independence cover. Exposed paid bloggers lose their audiences. India has the evidence. India has the facts. India has the data. The only missing ingredient is the political will to make this the priority it needs to be.